The largest circulation newspaper in the United States revealed that one of the world's most influential companies was promoting pedophilia, and nobody in power did anything about it. The Justice Department did not announce an investigation. Congress did not schedule hearings. The guy who runs Instagram, Adam Mosseri, still has his job. In fact, Mosseri's last tweet, which is pinned, is a video of himself bragging about how effective Instagram's algorithm is. Keep in mind as you watch this, it's real.
People often talk about the algorithm, but there is no one algorithm for Instagram. There are many algorithms and ranking processes we use to try to personalize the experience to make it as interesting as we can for each and every person who uses Instagram. We believe in this idea of personalization. What you're interested in and what I'm interested in is different, and so therefore your Instagram and my Instagram should be different.
What you're interested in and what I'm interested in is different, Mosseri explains patiently, so your Instagram feed will be different from mine. You're interested in children, that's why you're getting all the incest toddler posts. It's a highly personalized experience.
Do you remember that we did a video a long time ago about pedo rings on TikTok and Instagram?
Yes.
And there was that guy that was he was covering them and basically showing us all the people that were commenting on these things, and the amount of people that were opening pages dedicated to children that were putting makeup on and then like making comments about them. And a lot of these people had children as well. Well, Instagram has come under fire recently because their algorithm allows people to basically find this content without having to search for it. So you know how the algorithm will sometimes show you what you want to see?
Yeah.
And sometimes it will just throw things at you that are very popular, for example.
Yes.
And this pedo ring stuff is very popular, apparently. Now, fortunately for both of us, we haven't come across it ourselves, but people have started to see things popping up on their timeline, which is why this is causing some uproar in the media. And I 100% believe people when they say that the algorithm gives them things that they don't ask for. I've seen it multiple times. It's happened on my algorithm, but luckily nothing to that extent. Instagram is under fire right now for basically having pedo rings on their app and the algorithm helping the pedophiles to find children and find child-based accounts. And there's a lot of disgusting details that we're going to go over here. I've pulled a couple of screen grabs from other YouTube videos and a couple of things to react to. If you're easily upset by these sort of things because you've got children, then you don't have to watch this. I'm just warning you now that this stuff is quite disgusting and it's quite alarming. And I know people post their kids online because they're proud of something that they might have done or they're excited to share something, but I've said it 100 times, don't post your children online. It is not worth the hype and it's not worth the backlash. So pedophiles have long used the internet, but unlike the forums and file transfer services that cater to people who have interest in illicit content, Instagram doesn't merely host these activities. Its algorithm promotes them. Instagram connects pedophiles and guides them to content sellers via recommendation systems that excel at linking those who share niche interests, the journal and the academic research has found. So that's basically talking about the Instagram algorithm, how it will show you very specific things if you're interested in them. Sometimes it will just show you them even if you're not. Instagram is an on-ramp to places on the internet where there's more explicit child abuse, said Brian Levine, director of the UMass Rescue Lab, which researches online child victimization and builds forensic tools to combat it. Levine is an author of a 2022 report for the National Institute of Justice, the Justice Department's research arm on internet child exploitation. Instagram, estimated to have more than 1.3 billion users, is especially popular with teens. The Stanford researchers found some similar spicy content and activity on other smaller social platforms, but said they found that the problem on Instagram is particularly severe. The most important platform for these networks of buyers and sellers seems to be Instagram, which is alarming considering how many people use Instagram and how frequently people use it. I know Instagram has shops on there. I didn't know people were shopping for children though. Though out of sight for most on the platform, the content and those accounts on Instagram are brazen about their interest. The researchers found that Instagram enabled people to search explicit hashtags such as pedo whore and preteen sex and connected them to accounts that use the term to advertise child sex material for sale. Such accounts often claim to be run by the children themselves and use overtly spicy handles incorporating words such as little slut for you. That even felt disgusting to say. Instagram accounts offering to sell illicit sex material generally don't publish it openly, instead posting menus of content. Certain accounts invite buyers to commission specific acts. Some menus include prices for videos of children harming themselves and imagery of the minor performing spicy acts with animals.
Where are they getting these videos from in the first place?
What do you mean?
For this content?
Where are the pedos or the parents? These videos exist on Instagram. People go looking for them. And then obviously there's things that you can buy on top of them. So there is very dark material on Instagram.
But where are you going to find spicy videos of a kid online? Like, who's taken that video to begin with?
Well, sometimes the parents do it because they sell these children. Sometimes the children have been kidnapped. Sometimes it's like uncles or friends or whatever. And then they have their little network. You know, sometimes you leave your kid with a babysitter you might trust. They post your kid online, like that video we covered. Sometimes I've seen videos on the internet where uncles have been looking after kids, but really they've been up to no good. There's multiple ways for these things to pop up online. At the right price, children are available for in-person meetups.
Whoa.
So obviously there's an adult ushering these children to meet these other adults. That a team of free academics with limited access could find such a huge network should set off alarms at Meta. Meta is the parent company that owns all of these, so they own Facebook as well. Noting that the company has far more effective tools to map its pedophile network than outsiders do, I hope the company reinvests in human investigators. Now, what bothers me the most about this is when you talk about the cough or the poke, what happens to your video? There's a sign that pops up. You even mention the words. You mention anything that goes against the World Health Organization. You mention anything along those lines, the algorithm will pick it up and it'll pop a little message below your video saying this is false information. Where is that same technology for pedophiles? And I would say that that's a much, much bigger issue than people and their opinions on what Big Pharma's doing and what happened 2 years ago. I think that's a much, much bigger issue. And even if it wasn't a big issue, you've already shown that you have the capacity to build technology to pick up on certain things. How are you not able to pick up on this?
Instead, what they do is remove anything that's spreading awareness of these sorts of situations. For example, whenever we uploaded anything on TikTok to do with Josiah, Mizukami or whatever his name was, it got taken down. Anything that's spreading awareness of any of these, pedophiles that are out there gets taken down. Anything mentioning Andrew Tate's name gets taken down. Yet all this stuff is being allowed to just slip through the net. Yeah.
And allowed is the key word. I don't believe that this is just slipping through the net unaware. I believe that they know it's going on and that they won't do anything about it. Anytime, and I shit you guys not, try and find an Andrew Tate video on our TikTok. That shit gets taken down almost instantly.
We done a video about a completely different topic. Andrew Tate's name got mentioned once in passing. The video wasn't even about him. Got taken down instantly. Within like 20 seconds of it going live, instantly violating community guidelines.
And even sometimes when we mention Andrew Tate's name on here or we react to a video, our channel is at risk of being deleted, which is why we had to remove the last Andrew Tate video, because we just don't have the money or resources to combat YouTube the way big companies like the Daily Wire might. We had to remove our Andrew Tate video because they picked it up straight away. First, they limited ad revenue on it. Then it got a copyright claim. And then we started seeing other YouTubers getting in trouble for having the video up. You even mentioned that man's name. You mention anything to do with certain topics they don't like you talking about, they will come down on you like unholy hellfire. But this sort of stuff, for some reason, is just all over the place. There's no technology that they can build to look into this, but people don't think there's some sort of wider conspiracy going on. I really can't understand it. They've already shown us that they have the capacity for this technology. Stan Hazen says, the article says Instagram has the ability to map out child porn networks and take steps to combat them. They did it with accounts promoting the election delegitimization. So that was another thing. After January 6th, a lot of people were saying that the election was rigged. Now, say what you want about it. I don't really care where you sit on that politically. That's not what we're arguing. My problem is that you have technology in place that can stop people from having these conversations and remove their videos, but you can't apply that technology to pedos, to people that are harming children, that are selling them, that have menus on Instagram. Menus. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Does anybody remember Pizzagate, where they were referring to children as hot dogs and pizzas, and that was all just swept under the rug?
I never heard about that.
I'll tell you about it off camera. This video is going to take a whole other turn, but there was some crazy shit going on. I know people know what I'm talking about, where they were referring to...
I know something as well to do with, it was a big company and they were selling items online, for example, a picture frame.
I know what company you're talking about.
Yeah, and they were putting the measurements.
The furniture company. They're called... Yeah, I remember. I don't know how true that was because I don't want to get done for defamation, but I remember there was furniture listings on their website that was like for 20k, but they were called like Samantha.
Yeah, and
the
like, measurements of it was supposed to be like the height and the weight of the kid.
Yeah. Now that's all. Here we're not saying that allegedly we're not saying that it definitely happened. I did think it was a bit weird as well, and I do think I find it more weird that people are not even willing to entertain the idea, considering these things are out in the open. And we have known that these big companies and these corporations, they do weird things, and still people want to put their head in the sand. And to be honest, if you want to, I know most people are scared to acknowledge that these sort of things are going on. But I mean, Instagram is being taken to task right now. And we know that these pedo networks exist on TikTok and Instagram. We have seen them. You can actually go and see them. I wouldn't advise typing anything into your algorithm unless you want to see that sick shit. But it's there.
This is the problem, though, that I find is that in the world, this whole topic and situation constantly gets brushed under the carpet. Everyone turns a blind eye. Either there's a lot of people involved or a lot of people just don't care enough. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just horrible that this is the way things are. And there's more important things going on, like protecting our youth.
Yeah.
As opposed to people crying because you've called them he, she. There's really big issues happening and everyone's crying about the wrong things.
Yeah, and you know, like I remember I saw something with Joe Biden, the president of the United States, came out on stage and said the biggest threat to democracy in the United States is white supremacy.
To stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. And I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU. I say it wherever I go.
Which is just a lie. To me, this and other things that are going on seem like a bigger threat. And I do find it funny that they have the technology to suppress information like that, but for whatever reason pedo networks are on the rise. No suppression. I think Instagram bragged about shutting down like 20 accounts, but that is minuscule in the grand scheme of things. That's it. 20. That's all you got. I don't believe these companies. I don't believe these celebrities. I don't believe these people in power. There's some sick shit going on. I can't point to exactly who is doing it. I'm not putting the blame on anyone specifically. I don't want to get done for defamation. This is all alleged, but it just looks weird to me. It looks a bit fishy. It's too widespread, and I would tell parents again: stop putting your kids on Instagram. Stop putting them on Instagram. If they're not at the age of consent, they're not old enough to do those sort of things. I don't think you should be advertising. That's what you're doing. You're advertising them. What these people do is they go and get the pictures of your children, they screenshot them, and they sell them off to whatever wank bank website. Your kid is probably on some forum with some sickos doing God knows what with it. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Buy a book, get a photo album, and keep them in your house.
That's it. It doesn't need to be shared with the world.
Stop putting it online, man. Some of the things that I see people doing, and I remember you told me someone posted their kid in school uniform, and I was like, you are actually stupid. You must understand on some level the danger of doing that.
Yeah, when things are precious, you got to protect them.
I think it's good that more people are speaking out about this sort of thing, and I think it's good that Instagram is getting taken to task, and I think TikTok should as well. Whether or not they are actively facilitating this, I mean literally actively, not an algorithm doing it for them, I don't know. Like I said, we don't want to get done for defamation here. You can probably tell where we sit on this, but I do think it's just sickening. It's disgusting what's going on.
Yeah, and we don't live in an ideal world like everyone thinks we do or thinks we should live in. We live in a very scary world.
Yeah, it is a very scary world, and I don't like the argument that the algorithm's designed to give you what you want. I don't care. If you're looking at some older girl and she wants to flash off her coochie or whatever, I don't care about any of that stuff. The algorithm wants to feed you that shit, go right ahead. But if they have technology to suppress certain ideas, if they have technology, even in your DMs, if you send certain things, you can get shadow banned.
Yeah, you can also only watch a video once and then all of a sudden it starts getting pushed in front of you majorly. Like, for example, on TikTok, I might be scrolling and then come across a tarot reading, whatever. I've watched about 20 seconds of it and skipped it. All of a sudden, every other video is now a tarot reading because I entertained it for 20 seconds.
Yeah. So you could accidentally stumble across something that you don't want to see, and now all of a sudden your algorithm is feeding you like all this demonic shit that you don't want to see, and then you got to clean that shit up yourself. And that shit takes forever to clean up.
Yeah, I came across a video of a kid on TikTok, like one of them ones where the kid's giving attitude to the mum, and it was quite funny. And I watched it. The video had 1.2 million likes or whatever. And then because I watched that one video, I then kept getting loads of different videos of loads of other kids who are giving attitude to their parents and stuff. And I got to a point where I'm like, do you know what? I need to just skip these now and not watch them. Otherwise, this is all that's going to keep coming up on my page.
Yeah.
And I use TikTok to try and find videos for Midnight Rubbish as well. And it's like, my algorithm's getting messed up. My dad sent me one video one time of a dog doing a dog trick.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I had cats and dogs all over my For You page. I don't want to see it. It's boring. I don't want to watch that. Do you know what I'm saying? So all it takes is for one video, and you don't even have to watch the whole video, for your algorithm to just be filled with it.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. My suggested algorithms were like wrestling and anime and that, but one of the last ones was this Korean dancer, and I could see her dance. You know when it auto plays, I could see her dance. And I was like, oh my god, she's like stunning. So I clicked on it.
That was it. My timeline was just these gorgeous Korean girls, and I was like that. I don't know if you've seen that meme, the anime meme, where it's like they say Akira, and he's like, stop it, and he's just getting images in his head of like people constantly. But that was me. Every morning I'd wake up, just Korean, Japanese dancers everywhere, and I'm just like, how do I get out of this mix up now? I had to actually message my friend and say, I need you to send me Stone Cold Steve Austin, Demon Slayer, just send me everything that is not women, because my algorithm is in the depths now. So you can only imagine, if you're actually looking for that stuff and clicking on it, how widespread it could get and how many people it could get recommended to. The algorithms need to fix up. They're very capable of shutting things down when they don't want you to see it, but for whatever reason, pedo networks, they're just on the rise. If it's willy-nilly, we don't know what to do about it. I don't believe a word of what they have to say. No.